Hello everybody. This is Sylvan Whispers again. Today we're going to do a little reading. We're going to do a story from my childhood. And I have seen other ASMRists light a little candle to kind of set the mood. And I always thought that was really cute. So, for the sake of the cozy vibes, I think we should do that today. Might see some smoke from the match over here. We're gonna put it in our little house over here, our little candle holder. I hope you're doing well today. So, the book we're gonna be looking at and reading today is called, you might recognize the cover, I'm not sure. This book here, Miss Rumphius. So, in case you aren't familiar, this is a book that a lot of 90s kids probably saw and or read or had read to them. And I am a 90s kid. A friend of my grandmother's actually gave this to me. And I've just kept it ever since. It's such a lovely book. And the artwork is beautiful. And the message is really lovely as well. So, let's have a little moment to relax, get cozy, and have a little story time. Okay, this is the first time we're doing a book reading on this setup, so I might have to move the book or do different things so you can see okay. But let's see how it goes. Okay. Miss Rumphius. Also, I have a pointer because it always used to give me tingles when I was a kid, and teachers would use a pointer. Something about it. Okay. Miss Rumphius. Story and pictures by Barbara Cooney. The Viking Press, New York. Look at all these beautiful flowers. Aren't they gorgeous? These big, tall lupines. Here's the dedication. To Saint Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors, and maidens. Looks like he's got some lupines too. Let's shift this over a little bit. You guys see the picture, okay? The Lupin Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The lupine lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Look at the picture. There's little Alice on her front stoop. And she's looking out over this beautiful harbor with all the ships on the ocean. And you can see all of these buildings here with the steam and the smoke coming up out of their chimneys. Look how cute she is in her little coat and her hat. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. Looks like there's the prow of the ship, one of his figureheads up there, in a cigar shop. Oh, look at this. This is his workshop over here. So there's Grandpa doing some kind of woodwork. And there's little Alice in her cute little frock, painting in the skies. Looks like a lot of fun. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was grown up. That's kind of how that happens sometimes. Let's see what's over here. Looks like they're in Grandpa's living room, next to a nice, cozy, warm fire. They got a little kitty cat sitting right there. And there's Grandpa. And maybe these are some of his paintings of faraway places. Oh, look at this library. Then my great aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city, far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Look at this lovely library. And there's little Alice, or Miss Rumphius as we now call her. This little girl's brought her dog to the library. Not sure if that's allowed now, but it looks fun. And there's an old gentleman here in the corner, having a nice time reading the paper. Looks like a lovely place to work. And here's the library from the outside. And this is Miss Rumphius leaving work. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." There she is walking to the conservatory out in the middle of a snowy day. And here she is in the conservatory. Nice palm trees and tropical plants. And there's the jasmine. There she is, taking it all in. Nice hat and coat. Always very well dressed, our Alice. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raja's wife. The Bapa Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off of the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which she had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. Look at all of this. The Baba Raja and his beautiful family. And the ocean out here. Little sailboats. And there's Miss Rumphius in her travel wear, fashionable as ever. And there's the mother of pearl shell. My great aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping. And everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. Oh, look at that. Climbing up a mountain covered in snow. And here she is in the desert somewhere. back of a camel. Get these beautiful colors. I don't think I ever noticed this before. This little kid in the corner eating some watermelon. Looks like a nice place to be. All right, now what's she gonna do? From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it across the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. But there is still one more thing I have to do, she said. I have to do something to make the world more beautiful. But what? The world already is pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the ocean. I just love where she lives. Somewhere out on a coastline. In her beautiful little house, looking out over the sea. That's the pathway going down all the way to her little gate. And she has a kitty cat of her own now. So it looks like he might be hunting this mouse. Better watch out. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. Lupines, said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers next year. But she was not able to. There she is, trying to be good, laying in bed. Her little kitty cat keeping her company. And she can see the lupines outside her window right here. This is her lovely little cottage out in wintertime. You see this picture? There we go. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. I don't believe my eyes, she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. It was the wind, she said as she knelt in delight. It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped. Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. I love this picture. There's her little cottage in the distance. And all the way around the hill she's walked, and she's found her patch of lupines over here. You can see the fog going through the trees. Everything's nice and quiet and calm. And there's her kitty cat, who is probably hunting something again. rascal. I guess that's what they do, huh? She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupin seed. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, sowing lupins. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her anymore at all. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. There she goes, walking along the country lanes. All these seeds getting flung around. These kids probably think she's crazy. And there's her cute little kitty cat, keeping her company. And you can see part of the town all along here. Some nice boats in the water again, enjoying the nice sunny day. She looks much happier now. The next spring, there were lupins everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. I'll lift this book up so you can see a little better. Look at that, all those lupins. And now everybody's happy. They figured out what she was up to. All these lupins. Look how beautiful that would be. And there she is going along on her bike. Look at this picture. My great aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupin Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate. You see them over here? Curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she's the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. And there she is in her own nice living room with all these children coming to hear her stories. She's got plenty of cats now. But I do not know yet what that can be. That beautiful scene. All these lupins. these people enjoying our flowers, including the new little Alice. This lovely sunset. The end. I hope you all enjoyed this one. It's my first book reading to you guys. I'm really excited. I hope you had a relaxing time and you feel safe and cozy and taken care of. So for now, until the next video, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon.